Hey, so today I wanted to share about a new therapy I've been trying. I had some very traumatic events happen in my life a couple of years ago, and pretty much the end of 2018, a series of sort of trauma events. And so that's why I took a break from my own posting of content and materials to just all of my social media. I needed to take care of myself, and one of the main issues from that trauma I had experienced was the level of anxiety. Like, I hadn't had anxiety in like 10 years, and those traumatic events and just right before that some things were happening in my life really sent it through the roof. And I wasn't functioning very well sometimes, but even when I got it under control at that point, I just noticed I had anxiety and ruminating thoughts a lot, and just generally not feeling motivated to do things because I just wasn't feeling like myself. And, you know, I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner on the side. I have studied a lot of natural health and wellness. I have healed from a lot of other issues relating to health, and all of the tools and everything I had at my fingertips were just not getting me to where I needed to be. And so I was online doing a lot of research during, when the pandemic started, to see how I could better overcome this or get it under control. And I found a therapy called Neurofeedback, and I was aware of neurofeedback, like traditional neurofeedback, which is like brain training. But lens neurofeedback is more like brain untraining and like brain optimization. And I became very curious about it because I was reading a lot, but I noticed there weren't very many videos of people talking about their experience with lens neurofeedback and just sharing their journey with it. So that's why I'm on here now, because I want to share about this, because I want people to know about lens neurofeedback. So when things started to open back up and when people were starting to be able to open their offices back up, I had found somebody and reached out to her right away to get me in for lens neurofeedback. And basically these electrodes are put on your head, and a very low energy impulse is delivered to each point. And there's 21 points that get mapped through the software, which is really interesting. And to see like those points mapped was really interesting and made a lot of sense why I have always struggled to really get the anxiety under control, or why I'd get it under control and then why it would come raging back sometimes. And it's very interesting because my points were very, my brain showed a lot of suppression in areas, and just showing that it wasn't very optimal. And my therapist told me how my sort of map was very, the way it looked was very common for people who have experienced trauma and prolonged periods of stress and consistent stress. So I'm almost on my 10th, I'm getting close to my 10th appointment. So I just wanted to share, how the lens works. So after this, low energy impulses are delivered, and you don't feel anything. It's not like something hurts or you feel a shock or anything. It's such a low energy pulse that gets delivered. You don't notice anything happening while it's happening. And then, like I said, the 21 points get mapped, and then the progress is measured, throughout the course of treatment. And so I noticed actually a difference after my first appointment. My anxiety went away for a few days, it came back, and then went for my next appointment. The effects lasted longer, and then the next appointment, the effects lasted even longer. And so it's a cumulative effect. So your first appointment probably will wear off in a few days, and then it continuously lasts longer and longer until you experience more of a permanent change in your brain. And basically, lens neurofeedback is brain optimization. These pulses that are delivered to each point, they help nudge the brain to fix the patterning, like where the patterning went wrong and how to make that pattern more efficient in your brain. And then your brain, because it naturally wants to be optimized and it naturally wants to work efficiently, this will teach it to operate on an efficient level. So it'll say, the pulse gets delivered and then your brain's like happy. It's like, oh yeah, this is a better way to do this, or this is a better pattern. And it eventually learns the pattern, and hopefully by the end of your course of treatment, it becomes a permanent change. And so I just also want to share the results so far. So I'm almost at 10 appointments. My anxiety is almost completely gone. I do experience anxiety, but very little and not much either from time to time. And things that would normally cause me to feel anxiety, I've noticed are either not causing me to have the anxiety or on a much reduced level. And for me, that is just that alone is just amazing, because I was really struggling with anxiety, and it's just amazing to have these effects. And I'm someone who meditates, does all the stuff, and but I thought there just has to be a better way to deal with this, and especially with advances in technology. So I highly recommend lens neurofeedback. I will keep posting videos of my progress, as I've now recently started combining it with EMDR, which was what I was doing back in 2018. But my therapist moved away to another province, and I wasn't able to find all of last year another EMDR practitioner. So now we're combining EMDR and lens to really help on the brain level, but also the body level, because our body really stores all stress, trauma, everything else. And even if you do yoga, even if you do meditation, sometimes it's just not enough. And for me, all of those things haven't been enough. And I do the good diet and do the good lifestyle routines and all of that. So I definitely recommend it. If you have any questions, you can also pop it down in the comments. I'm just trying to run through my head if I missed any important points of it. But basically, you don't need to do anything during the appointment. The therapist will do everything, put the electrodes on, deliver the treatment. And then we've, sort of been playing around with how many sites to do per session, and changing the power levels and the length of seconds to each point. And so far it's been really good, and I wish I had found this many years ago. Apparently it's been around since the 90s. I'm surprised I only came across it recently. But it's made such a significant difference in how I operate. My brain feels organized. I get things done faster. I feel more motivated to hop back into things that I had let go of, because I just wasn't feeling motivated, because I just had the anxiety to deal with and just had to really stay on top of my self-care as a result. So that's where I'm at so far in the treatment process, and I will post more videos, and I can post links if you want links to information on lens. And I hope this will be helpful for someone who finds this video and is considering doing lens neurofeedback. I say definitely go get assessed, see if this is going to be right for you. As far as the suppression in my brain, so with the 21 points, I was pretty suppressed. I was like, all of the bars were orange, and orange means suppressed. And they were, pretty low, meaning not a lot of activity in those parts of the brain. And now more than half of my sites are unsuppressed and in the blue, and the sites keep popping up. So I'm confident that maybe all of the sites will get unsuppressed, and I'm excited to see how I'll feel with the rest of the appointments. And also for treatment, it depends on what you're dealing with, because it's used to treat things like traumatic brain injuries and all other types of brain health related matters. But from what I understand is people usually do not require more than 20. And in regular neurofeedback, I think it's something like 40 or 60 sessions. So this way you're saving a lot more time and a lot more money with, going up to just 20 sessions instead of having to do so many with regular neurofeedback. So I will be on this channel sharing more about natural health and wellness, and also parts of my journey on the different things I'm working on. So I will be back with another video. And again, if you have any questions about my experience or want me to make a follow-up on a particular part of it, I can do that. So I will talk to you later.